All right, everyone. Steve Metrics here with yo boy,
DJ Triggs.
and we are here post-draft. Been a little bit, but hey, post-draft, got a little NBA action. We're back. So yeah, maybe mixing things up a little bit early in the week, mornings, kind of works better with our work schedules. But hey, cool stuff going on with the draft. I'm pretty happy with my team. Seen a few other teams that we talk about that are looking kind of interesting. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at with the draft. You got anything you think about that?
I mean, I was gonna say you're only like kind of happy with your team.
I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I mean, with just pretty much knocking out everything we need, plus getting an offensive lineman, plus getting one in free agency, plus getting multiple guys back from injury last season. I would say actually the real sneaky winner in this is actually Ashton Genty. I think his ability to produce going into next season is going to be much better. I think he's going to be doing more of those wheel routes, kind of what we're familiar seeing like Josh Jacobs do both for the Raiders and for Green Bay. He's kind of fancy at that. I think Mendoza is going to make that happen with him too. I feel really solid with it. I think this is a really solid draft that we had. I'm pretty happy with who we got.
I'm not gonna lie. Like all I want to do is talk about Raiders draft. Is that bad?
That's not bad at all. I am totally A-okay with it.
Like I'm excited about this is gonna sound very strange of all people. The Arkansas running back Mike Washington Jr. Okay. I don't know why. Like sure. I just saw this dude. He is 6'1" and 220 some pounds, and it's like, oh, that's a giant man right there. You know what I mean?
Right. Totally, man. Totally. Yeah. Like Washington's got some interesting looks to him. I was watching Arkansas a little bit earlier in the year. I thought they were all right. But yeah, I mean, it's good to have like a more doable additional running back to Genty because I mean we can only go so long with what's his name that we have from Miami. Like that guy, like he's kind of up there in years, really, really fast. Great to have. Probably more important on the special teams, but you got to really have like multiple backs that you can exchange. And having Mike Washington to pair off of Ashton Genty, to me sounds like a really nice fit.
Right, because I mean, Ashton Genty's not the biggest guy in the world. He's like what, 5'7", 5'8", like 20 pounds. Like you're literally talking about a dude that's half a foot taller than him and just like swolled up. So it's like I know it sounds crazy, but 20 pounds and 5 or 6 inches more, it means a lot in like sports. It like. That's the difference between a heavyweight and a light heavyweight in the UFC. So like, yeah, you don't want that guy just running through, just banging holes. And then Ashton Genty's like, oh, hey man, you guys backed off a little bit. Here I go.
Exactly. Like it's always what I've kind of like seen in the days with having like Alvin Kamara paired with Mark Ingram, or what we just had up in Seattle with forgot his name, he just got hurt, but you pair him with Kenneth Walker, getting that extra muscle to hit you. That's kind of a change of pace guy matters.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I was a little like disappointed with I mean, like obviously you guys went defense a lot. I mean, you got corners, a couple safeties, like an edge rush. Like you guys were just like, you were kind of like the Green Bay Packers, which we may get into a little bit, but like you literally went defense. You got a lineman, you got that power running back. And then I really wanted you guys to get a receiver. Like, that was the one thing.
Yeah, because I'm a little concerned with the 2 receivers that we drafted last season that didn't really do much throughout the season. And granted, Geno Smith's part of that. But it's pretty much just Trey Tucker running go routes at 1,000,000 miles per hour. And beyond that, I don't know, man. Like, I'm hoping things fall apart with the Rams and Devontae Adams comes back. That's how thin we are at wide receiver. Like you need to have some real targets out there. Like I was hoping that we would get Fernando Mendoza's counterpart that he did really well with at Indiana. I think I would have liked to gone with that possibly instead of maybe Kenyon Crawford, but Crawford's still solid. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm thinking with that is like you really want to give Mendoza a real solid, like confident target.
Right.
I mean, the thing is that I do know that apparently Nico Collins is still kind of being out there as a player that teams are possibly negotiating for. Who knows? Maybe the AJ Brown stuff to New England falls apart. I'm still tempted to see AJ Brown stick with the Philadelphia Eagles. I'll be honest, man. If he does, I think they by far have the best receiving core in the NFL. And that would allow Jalen Hurts to just really take, like, you will know exactly what you need to know from Jalen Hurts at that point. Because if he can't make it with those three guys, then it's just not going to happen. Then you have to figure out what's next.
Hey, but, wait a minute. You're missing out. Like, you said those three guys. Dude, they got Dontavion Wicks from the Packers. And a lot of people actually said he was the best wide receiver in the core of the Packers wide receiver room.
Sure.
And I know that's a number 4 because Malachi Lemon's going to probably be number 3. And then, like, he's no slouch. I mean, he's been bounced around a little bit, but Hollywood Brown can still go, like, as a number 5. Like, and then on top of that, Elijah Moore, who, again, kind of like a Hollywood Brown, been bounced around, but as your number 6, like, that room is nuts.
It is.
And don't even get me started on Tank Bigsby. He's a pass catching back. Like,
always been one of my favorites. Yep. I was just bummed out that I wasn't able to get the kind of fantasy production out of him that I was hoping to get at some point when Saquon got a little banged up. But I've always liked Tank. I think Tank has a lot left in his pocket. It reminds me a lot of like a Tyler Algier kind of guy, like a very, very strong running back, just doesn't have the miles on his tires. Even Josh Jacobs was that coming out of Alabama. So like, I really like those guys. I do like the fact that Algier is out of Atlanta, gets a little bit more chances in Arizona, but it is a little crowded backfield back there. But I do think that, like, I'll be honest, like when that first round hit, I truly believe Philadelphia got the best wide receiver in the draft. I've seen the tape on Carnell Tate. It's just a big guy catching passes here and there. That's great. But I'm telling you, Mekhi Lemon, the routes he's running and where the university he comes from, like these guys like Lemon, Juju Smith-Schuster, and more importantly, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mekhi Lemon looks identical to the stuff I see Amon-Ra St. Brown do. I think he is by far the best wide receiver in the draft. I really like the Arizona State one. I think he went to New Orleans. So he's going to be playing alongside Chris Olave. That's really nice. That's a fun little team that's kind of figuring things out with the new regime they got down there. But I'm telling you, man, I cannot believe that Mekhi Lemon fell all the way to 20.
Right.
I just, from the tape I saw, just because you're an Ohio State wide receiver doesn't mean you're going to just like break down the walls and take your team the distance. Jackson Smith and Jigba did, but Jackson Smith and Jigba runs way better routes and is a true slot receiver, just like Mekhi Lemon, where this Carnell Tate guy, he's just a big outside tight end in my eyes.
Yeah, I actually like Jordan Tyson going to New Orleans too. I mean, he's a really good pass catcher, like big body. They talked about him being compared to George Pickens. So like, everything I've seen from him, if he didn't beat up his body, the torn ACL, I want to say something with his shoulder, maybe collarbone or something like that.
Okay.
Like he would have probably been the number 1 wide receiver taken, but he's just beat up. Speaking of mileage, right? Let's go back to these Raiders. I'm all Raiders right now.
Okay.
Out to the Raiders. You guys got a wide receiver during the offseason that I was like, oh, I'm intrigued. Like Jalen Naylor, right? That dude literally, I don't think he's caught. Actually, I'm going to look it up just to make sure I'm not crazy. Yeah. He has never caught more than 29 passes in his career. 4 years. No, like literally, he is like unmolded clay. that you can just be like, hey, man, go do some things. And now, like, he might be a stud, and we never knew.
Right. Yeah, like Jalen Naylor could definitely be a guy that could do some things. I remember seeing a few games over the last season or two in Minnesota where he just like explodes for like 10 fantasy points. And it's not a lot, but for a guy who doesn't really do much and had some good matchups and was stepping in when there was like no Justin Jefferson. I think he might have had some big games when there was like no Justin Jefferson and what's his name might have been suspended for a hot minute. I think that's kind of when that guy's had time to shine. Kirk Cousins was slinging it. I think Jalen Naylor is a nice guy to have. Plus, again, you got that Cousins to Naylor connection, which is here again with Las Vegas. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, he went for Baltimore last year, 5 receptions, 124 yards, and a touchdown. So, like, there was also a game against Dallas where he had 2 touchdowns. Like, the guy, I mean, he just finds the end zone. Like I told you, no more than 30 catches a year. 29 was the max. So 2 years ago, he had 6 touchdowns on 29 receptions. Like, that means they're looking for this guy to go score a touchdown. And then last year, 4 touchdowns. So, like, for a third, receiver on that team, and at sometimes even fourth, like, to have 10 touchdowns in 2 years is pretty nuts.
Absolutely. I mean, that's definitely a guy that is solid to have. And I mean, like, even for our team, like we have made kind of lesser named wide receivers, like Jacoby Myers, like we've made him kind of ascend and become something. Like Trey Tucker is nice, but I don't know if he's ever going to really become that. I think he's just a pure go route guy. When you have a guy like Jalen Naylor, who's been around the league for a little bit, who finally gets his chance to step up and be the guy like Jacoby Myers has been doing both in New England and with Las Vegas and now in Jacksonville, that really helps a guy grow. So, like, Naylor is a guy that I like. I mean, he's played a lot of special teams, I think, over the years. But he would be a nice guy to fill in. But I'm still on this where it's like I want that big body guy. Like, to lose Devontae Adams knowing we had Jacoby Myers, I could be okay with that. But to lose both within truly one year, that's a real hole. And those are guys that are so rare that they're very hard to replace. There's just not a million of them that exist. They're not an easy plug and play kind of guy.
No. Now, this is going to sound wild. Literally, you said the words out of my mouth, plug and play. So let's say Trey Tucker goes down, right? Or, maybe guys are just like, you know what? We know what Trey Tucker is. He's not going to grow with this team any longer. Yeah, he's only 25, but he's got quite a few miles on him, right? He had like 90 targets last year. He's in that 4th year of his deal. Are you going to sign him back? Maybe he's team friendly. Who knows, right? Now, you guys drafted Malik Benson, the wide receiver out of Oregon, and you talked about a straight runner, like deep routes, go routes. This dude ran a 4.37. So, like, he is the definition of a straight, go route. So, like, he may be able to take up some of that space that Trey Tucker may leave at the end of the year or next year or whatever. Like, you guys have a small, young core that Mendoza can start building with.
Right. And personally, my hope, if I look at all these guys, to me, the true guy that I look at, that I'm like, all right, if this guy can figure it out, I think he's truly the best receiver on the team, is Dante Thornton Jr. I mean, there were times early in the season where I saw this guy triple covered, quadruple covered, and still Geno Smith threw the ball to him like he shouldn't have. And it's like, that tells you that, like, there is something here with this guy. The guy did have a little bit of butterfingers throughout the season, but he is pretty much on the depth chart right behind Trey Tucker. I think this is kind of one of those things where I would kind of put him in the mix of whenever a guy runs a route, if they're running a ton of yards, just kind of rope-a-dope and rotate guys in between Trey, Jalen, and Malik Benson. And to be honest, Dante Thornton Jr. would be the guy that I'd want to be out there for a significant amount of plays, kind of a Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams kind of guy. And then Jack Besh is kind of your slot receiver, Hunter Renfrow replacement kind of guy. I think that's the way it's going to go. I think flat out, you're going to see a lot of at least 12 personnel working out this team. Oh, hey, how about this? We got Cam Hayward's brother playing fullback for our team now, Connor Hayward. So it looks like that deal happened recently. But yeah, like you're going to see a lot of Brock and Michael Myers out there. So I like seeing that. But yeah, I mean, offensive line feels pretty solid at this point. And to be honest, like I don't really think you can have a legit, real, consistent, good offense until you figure out that offensive line. And I think this was the offseason that between free agency and the draft that we had to make that happen. And getting guys back like Jackson Powers Johnson and Colton Miller, that has to happen. So I think this is a real good stepping stone in a first year moving forward with the guys we got. Yeah.
Hey, I'm with you. Like you got. I was looking at your contracts for your wide receivers that we were talking about before, and like literally all of them are from this year or just got signed last year, except Trey Tucker. I didn't know this, but Naylor is actually getting $11 million a year. Like he is your highest paid receiver, and I'm like, oh man. I look at the Packers. We've got 3 guys making that money in our wide receiver room, so right. It's like, I'm just like, oh boy, what are we doing over here? But who knows?
Yeah, it is what it is. I'm glad, to be honest, if that's the case, then that's a guy that, to be honest, I really don't want to pay wide receivers a lot of money unless I have a truly special one, which is why I hope we would somehow still be in the runnings for either Nico Collins or if things fall apart with A.J. Brown. I'd love to go after that, but we'll see.
And now the biggest question that we can put out there for you. Are you ready for this?
Sure.
Is Mendoza going to start the season?
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay. He's number 2 on your depth chart right now. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah, I see it. I'm looking at it right now, just like you are. I'm looking at it right now. The thing is, when I think about Kirk Cousins post ACL tear, and I'll tell you this, if he didn't tear his ACL, I think he probably would have ended the season as the MVP. He was on such a tear in Minnesota. He was slinging it so hard. Watching the games he played, like he had a cannon of an arm that I've just never seen out of Kirk Cousins before. But apparently he ripped it so hard that he ripped his Achilles. So it is what it is. But ever since, and then bouncing from there to Atlanta and taking the job from Michael Penix, to me, is a much easier scenario than taking the job from Fernando Mendoza. Man, like watching Penix play now compared to what he was able to do in Washington is night and day. That guy had the easiest path to victory when he played with Washington, had 6 seconds in the pocket, could do whatever he wanted, and he looked brilliant. In Atlanta, the guy looks like he's at a total loss. Like he has no time to play. He panics. He runs out of the pocket. He makes really weird plays. Even the first game of last season looked like really, really kind of scrambly. But Fernando Mendoza is different. Like, granted, you're going to go into the preseason training camp with Kirk Cousins as the guy, but that's to build up and humble Fernando Mendoza and get him used to what the regimen is of being an NFL quarterback. Kirk's a solid guy. I mean, I think we all know, already seen him on CBS Sports. He's not really going to be in the NFL for that much longer. You got to get Fernando to know what the NFL culture is. And once he has that under his belt, I think Fernando just takes this and rides. But I do think, though, that like it does take another real receiver, which is why I look at all of these guys and I'm like, it's got to be Deontay Thornton or it's got to be somebody else. That's kind of where I'm at. But I just think Fernando Mendoza, what he did, he's the most accomplished quarterback coming into the NFL from the previous season. What he went through in the college football playoff and the regular season, he beat Oregon twice. He beat Alabama, Ohio State, and Miami. I don't know anyone that has that kind of college football season that pretty much just gets into the NFL and just rolls. I think that's a very, very tough slate that he went through and did it. I mean, I know Miami did really well towards the end of last season, but Miami was kind of hovering around the middle of the top 20 for most of the season. And there was a lot of case to be said about that Notre Dame game. So it got a little weird and they kind of fell into place. But I just think Fernando Mendoza, the consistency that they played with was pretty awesome. And he made some big time throws, man. He reminds me, like, his throwing style to me reminds me a lot of like a Drew Bledsoe, Dak Prescott kind of big guy, big arm, kind of javelin kind of thrower. And that's what I like to see. And I just feel at this point, I just with the fast, speedy runners we have, Kirk Cousins might be good here and there, but I don't think he has the consistency to just throw those howitzers game in and game out like Mendoza will.
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I just want him to get out there.
Totally.
I've seen comps of like Joe Burrow and things like that, and I'm like, all right, man, let's see what happens. I mean, you can't go wrong with 6'4", like 6'5". Yeah. I think he was like 240 pounds, 250, somewhere in there. Like, he's a big dude, which is great. And if you look at like the NFL draft in general, like, I only knew, I mean, and this was not until you go deep diving in, like, I only knew Carson Beck and Ty Simpson. Like, that was it, you know, like, so this core of quarterbacks wasn't the strongest, but like, you guys got the one guy.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Like Carson Beck, is this the same Carson Beck who went to Georgia? Is that the same guy we're talking about?
Let me go do some research because I have no idea. Like, okay. I'm gonna be honest. Like, once they kind of started talking about quarterbacks, they just, most of the time I wouldn't hear anything, and then I looked into stuff and I didn't really like.
Right.
All right. So yeah. I found him here. His comp is Davis Mills. Like, that's probably why I didn't even care very much. Right. But let me go. Let's go see if I can find him.
But I'll tell you this: the three quarterbacks. I don't know if they were exactly the top three quarterbacks picked, but all three quarterbacks that I recognized all went to the three teams I thought they would go.
Georgia, you were correct.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, he's kind of bounced around. He's kind of transfer portaled a little bit here and there since winning it all with Georgia. But yeah, like, I look at the top three quarterbacks, and I'll be honest, they all look very similar. Like, they're all kind of big, tall guys, big arm quarterbacks that have had pretty solid success playing for big name schools. So, I mean, not big name schools, but necessarily like big name conferences. So, like, seeing, Fernando Mendoza go to the Raiders, national champion, that makes a ton of sense. Ty Simpson at Alabama going to the Rams. I was hearing stuff that the Rams would trade back into the first round and then grab him. But Ty Simpson was a guy that people thought was the best quarterback for the first month of college football. At least even Fernando Mendoza recognized that, hey, Ty Simpson's kind of the guy that's doing great. And then the guy who I always envisioned as my future Raider quarterback, but his season ended pretty quick. But that guy can play, man. Drew Aller, Penn State, going to Pittsburgh. Once he got hurt, I felt that Pittsburgh would probably be the landing place. Seeing how Pittsburgh kind of works things locally. They did that with Kenny Pickens, and now they're kind of doing that with Drew Aller. But I was hearing a lot of good stuff over the last year or so about Drew Aller. So I think that's a good fit, whether Rodgers is there or not. I think Drew Aller is going to truly develop, and I think in the next season, Drew Aller, Ty Simpson, and Fernando Mendoza, I think they're all starting. I think this draft is actually going to surprise more people and actually provide more starting NFL quarterbacks than even next year's draft.
Well, I hope so, because I I don't know how I feel about quarterbacks getting drafted anymore.
Yeah,
Everything's just downhill.
Right. I mean, look at last season. We really only have we really only had one, just Jackson Dart. That's it.
I mean, Cam Ward, kind of.
Yeah, my bad, Cam Ward. So we had two. Totally forgot about the Titans.
Actually, no. What's the guy? Oh man, what's the kid? New Orleans.
The Saints one. Oh, we did have three.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember his name. Is it like Shuck or something?
Yeah, we'll call him Chuck for the purpose of this. But yeah, they're New Orleans actually has some nice stuff going on down there. I mean, I think Kellen Moore is a pretty good head coach. Where he falls into the scheme of things, we'll find out. But yeah, let's check this out.
Tyler Show.
Tyler Show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Yeah, he's an interesting quarterback. I don't know, they're an interesting team. I won't say they're the greatest team, but I do think the Saints are gonna steal a few games here and there. I really do. I think the Saints are kind of interesting. I just think they're going in a more positive direction than unfortunately the Derek Carr years. I think you're playing with broken pieces at that point. So just saying, I know what it's like to have Derek Carr as your quarterback. It's not that great. So, yeah.
I'm sorry that you had to go through the Derek Carr years.
I've been there, man. But I'll tell you what, there's one other guy to me that really stood out that I haven't seen a lot of people talk about, but I did see some pre-draft stuff about him. And this to me is one of the surprisingly better teams in the NFC. I think people are not necessarily giving this team a lot of respect, but they're actually really solid, and they almost took down the best team in the NFC twice. Carolina Panthers getting Monroe Freeling. I'm telling you, man, this guy blocks as if he's friggin' Darnell Washington, man. He's got he's 6'7", 315 pounds, blocks downfield pretty darn hard. Man, Carolina is doing some things right. I think this is a great player to have on that team. Yeah, I think Carolina is actually a real sneaky looking team, to be honest.
Yeah, I just looked him up because I was like, what? I don't even remember this guy. But yeah. And he might not have to start right away either. They could move him to guard, things like that. I know they picked up Rasheed Walker because, former Packer guy.
Sure.
And so this guy's gigantic.
Totally. And the speed that guy has, that I've seen this guy block downfield, is pretty insane. It's kind of rare to get guys like that. I mean, only other guy to me that comes to mind is a Jordan Mailata. So again, a guy like this is pretty special. I think this is a really good landing spot. Carolina's a really interesting team. I like. I don't know. I really don't think they're going to have too much competition in that division. Possibly Atlanta could be a little spicy. I really liked the third round pick. They had no first round picks, Atlanta. Their third round wide receiver, Zachariah Branch. That guy flies. That guy just flat out flies. Also from Georgia.
Oh boy. You're barking up the wrong tree over here, man. In Green Bay, we literally draft everybody from Georgia. All right.
I get it. But I'm telling you, man, now that you actually have a offensive-minded head coach, you have Kevin Stefanski, which a lot of people look at as one of the best coaching hires in this past offseason. The only weird thing is the quarterback position. You have Penix, who I'm not the greatest, I'm not the biggest on board with. You also have Tua Tagovailoa there, which is kind of interesting. And I kind of want to look at that depth chart and see who's actually on or who's actually ahead for that team. But
see, the only reason that I'm kind of I don't want to say against, but I don't really know how I feel about them. I know he was a late round pick, but they got Zacchaeus from Chicago.
Oh no.
Jahan Dotson's been all over the world, and then Drake London's probably your number one. Kyle Pitts, they play all around. Like,
yeah,
they're an interesting team. Like, they have a bunch of misfit toys. I mean, Trevor Siemian, Tua, Penix, like Brian Robinson Jr. is over there. Like, they are a weird unit of just dudes, right? You just put dudes out there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this team now, and I'll be honest, I actually think they got worse. Yeah, this could be a very bad football team. This was a team that was
there's no identity, right?
There's no like real like, okay, cool, we're gonna fortify the offensive line. We're gonna use these bigger sized players to work our way downfield, and then we're gonna break away with the speed. And man, I really don't see like the wide receiver core. If you lose Drake London, it gets bad fast. And I think Olamide Zacchaeus is actually really, really bad. I think he was by far the worst receiver on Chicago. About every single time I ever saw a football thrown to the guy, it hit him in the hands and he dropped it. Like every single time. Like Zacchaeus going back to a team that he used to play for, Jahan Dotson kind of being damaged goods from both Philly and Washington tells you that there isn't much of a market for that guy or Olamide Zacchaeus. Zachariah Branch, he should leapfrog at least one of those guys, to be honest. I really think so. But man, this is a rough team. Trevor Siemian's there. That's not bad for another quarterback. But I'll be honest, I actually have more faith in this offense if Tua is running it than Penix.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just let guys run down the field and Tua will just chuck it up there. It's not. I mean, I think I seen a stat where like Penix was only throwing like an average of 4 yards down the field or something ridiculously low. And it's like, that's not what kind of team you have, dude. Like, let's chuck it.
Yeah. And to me, Zachariah Branch is going to be a guy that kind of emanates the style that Tyreek Hill had. I mean, this guy runs routes just like Tyreek Hill. I think that's what you got to go with. You got to go with what works. And again, Penix is also coming off a serious ACL tear. I think it's like his third in like 5 years or something. I mean, we're talking at this point, it's pretty much like the end of his career, actually. And he's just beginning. I mean, to have this many severe knee injuries so early into a pro NFL quarterback career, I just don't think he's going to last. And Tua might not last either, but I'd rather go with a guy who I know can do things in the NFL and has had some success than a guy who's really coming off an ACL tear. And even before that was kind of shaky to begin with.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can ask for and do. I mean,
they got the right coach, though.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about their team just because, like, they went all in on, linemen and defensive line, offensive line, that nobody else really matters on this team.
Right.
Like it's and they got the discount on Tua, and still they didn't use any of that money anywhere else. So I don't know. It's weird to me.
It is. I mean, I look at Carolina, and that looks like a much better team, in my opinion. That to me, that looks like a team that is truly like knows what it's doing, what its identity is. And they've kind of done it on the budget side as well. But they know how to do things. They got some nice receivers actually there. Even John Mechie III is there. They got Jimmy Horn Jr. And those are backups. To have both Xavier Legette, Tetairoa McMillan, Jalen Cocker, I'm not too familiar with, but they're making it work, man.
But those are all draft picks too. So like every single one of those guys in that top three were all drafted by them.
Totally. So yeah, they got some good stuff going. To me, that's a much better team. They got Trevor Etienne. Looks like he's gonna Looks like he's actually going to be returning kicks outright for both kicking and punting. You got him. Chuba Hubbard can do it as well. But yeah, like I think of all the NFC teams, I think to me, Carolina is the easiest to say that's their division. They're going to win that division. The other three divisions, I think each of them has probably at least another team that's in contention with the team at the top. The Philly one in the NFC East is very interesting. I am more inclined to go with the Giants, but to me, if Philly gets back their guys healthy and keeps AJ Brown, that's a game changer, man. I'm telling you, with all the other wide receivers they got there as well, I think you bring back guys fresh, and Philly to me is still a thing. They still have all those players that we've recognized them for winning the Super Bowl. Yeah,
I mean, and that's all you can ask for when you talk about, you know, putting a team together and things like that. So, like, right. I don't know, kind of excited for them. Totally. Do you have any other NFL stuff you want to get into?
I mean, that's kind of the most I got. Yeah, I mean, like that's pretty much it. I know I've been hearing some weird things here and there that people are like, yeah, Kansas City will be good. I'm not seeing that. How are things looking for your Packers?
Oh, I'm excited. Like we didn't do a whole lot of mixing and matching. We kind of, you know, cut down on some positions of need. We drafted a corner, you know, like we drafted a lineman that can move around. So like I'm excited. But I mean, I'm ready to change sports because there's something else I'm very excited about. Just saying, WNBA, they also had a draft, you know, a couple weeks ago.
Sure.
Almost a month now. There was some legit movement in the WNBA that made you go, oh, is this what we're doing? I mean, new coaches, their players getting traded and fired and filled and like, sure. Hey, I don't know. I don't know how you feel, but I'm excited about the WNBA, which is kind of insane. Dallas gets another like Ozzie Fudd gets another a number one pick to put next to Paige Beckers. Like, what could you ask for? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, I mean, already Dallas is 2-0. They're definitely on the right track, so that's looking good. Yeah, I mean, like Dallas is interesting. I still think Minnesota has a really, really nice team that they're putting up there. We'll see.
I mean, especially because they got Olivia Miles. I mean, probably to me the best player in the draft. Like her skills on the point, like being able to move the ball, but then she's also a scorer. You put her out there with some of those vets, like. That team can get nasty, right? And we're also talking like one of the best teams in the league. It wasn't just some, you know, random team that she got thrown to. Gabrielle Jaquez from UCLA, her brother's Jaime Jaquez that plays for Miami. So like she's a really good two guard, kind of like a wing, but she's really, really good. Rich get richer. Lauren Betts going to Washington, I want to say off the top of my noggin. Like she's amazing, and she's 6'7". She also played at UCLA. Obviously, UCLA was, you know, the team to beat in college basketball. So like seeing a bunch of them get drafted right after each other was pretty cool. But like, I mean, that doesn't even start what happened in other parts of the WNBA. Obviously, Angel Reese getting traded. Like, there was things that were just happening that you're just like, oh, another thing? Yeah. Oh, and another thing. All right. Caitlin Clark is back. Like, we haven't even gotten in the season yet. We're still, like, rocking preseasons and things like that. And there is so much craziness that has happened. And obviously, Portland and Toronto did their expansion draft. So, like, there's new teams all over. Golden State last year the Valkyries look really, really good. So what happens with one of these teams? I don't know. Lots of what was it? What was the why am I blanking? Young lady, super, super tall, plays for Chicago. We really liked her last year.
Oh, yeah. The one from South Carolina?
Yes. Oh, why is it bugging me right now?
I got you.
I know Chicago also got Skylar Diggins, and then they got Dejanay Carrington. I know they made another move trade-wise, but like them getting, like I said, Gabriel Jaquez, like that team looks like it is now a championship team.
Oh yeah, that team's loaded. Camila Cardozo.
There we go. Cardozo. Thank you.
Yeah, she's pretty solid too. Courtney Vandersloot's there.
Yep. Ball handler.
They got a nice team.
And then people were just getting super maxes, which is pretty awesome too. I know the CBA ended up getting pushed through. I know Jackie Young got $1 million from the Aces. Asia Wilson got her super max. Aaliyah Boston with the Fever got her super max. Like there was just money all over the place, which is really, really cool. If you think about it, Nneka Agumake, she ended up going back to LA, I want to say.
Okay.
So like Seattle ended up letting her go and Skylar Diggins. So they kind of retooled themselves.
I was in Chicago.
Yeah. Yep. Trying to think of another team that, obviously the Aces, they went and got oh my gosh, Seitu Sabala, like, which awesome deal. Like, I don't know if they have enough ball to feed everybody, but hey, more stars are better in basketball. Just a lot of crazy stuff happened, you know?
Yeah, it's some interesting stuff. They got some movement, but yeah, seeing new teams, new stuff is pretty cool. Already it looks like the Valkyries are valued at almost $1 billion as a franchise. So pretty cool stuff there.
I know that was a lot of fast WNBA stuff, but like a lot happened in that offseason. I mean, we didn't even know if we were going to have WNBA basketball after that CBA. But yeah, lots of good stuff. I don't know, man. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Seitu went? Seitu went to New York. She's in New York Liberty.
Gotcha.
So yeah, you got obviously. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking because I'm talking so fast. Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu over there.
I know she got
like you got some studs over there. Thoroughbreds, you know.
Yeah. And then NBA, Jason Tatum getting banged up, and then they go down to the Sixers.
Yeah, you know what? The NBA is making me kind of upset. Like, I have not, and I'm going to admit this out loud. I have barely been able to get through some of these games.
Sure.
Like last night was one of the most frustrating games I've watched. And I got through about 3/4 of it, and I just like. I ended up stopped watching at halftime and then came back in the fourth quarter. Cleveland and Toronto, like it was so abundant. I don't say this very often. I don't come out here and bash refs, but it was so abundantly clear that Cleveland was supposed to win this game. Like I think in the first quarter they were shooting like 30%. Toronto was shooting 50%, and for some reason they were only winning by like 2. The free throw discrepancy was 12-1. Fouls was 10-2. And I mean, I literally watched guys like fall over, and it was just like, wow, okay, so Donovan Mitchell and James Harden aren't scoring, so we're just going to put everyone else on the free throw line. Like,
right.
It's insanely annoying to even like watch that game. And Toronto, like they threw as many punches as they could. And this is how you know it was bad. Jared Allen, the big man, Jared Allen, was the highest scorer on Cleveland.
Yeah, that'll do it, man. I mean, he's a good player, but when you got both Donovan Mitchell and you got James Harden there, that's not looking so hot.
Yeah, and I'm just checking out the box score now. They ended up shooting 11 more free throws. Yeah, Toronto couldn't hit the broadside of a barn from 3, but neither could Cleveland. Now, that handful of free throws, or that double-digit 2 handfuls of free throws, like that completely changed the game. When you're getting fouled and you know you're not going to get a free throw, but the other team does. It's like at a certain point, now you're just playing catch-up and you can't.
Right. Yeah, that's a little crazy there. I am with you. I do think the NBA does want to see Cleveland move a little bit further. Also, the potential that possibly even next season that they might land LeBron James. You kind of give yourself a little momentum to make that happen. I don't know. Yeah,
and like it made you kind of see some things with like the Hawks. The Hawks nearly beat New York, and then obviously that last game they lost by like 60.
That's that's gone. Like I called Atlanta, called my shot, but you ran out of gas.
Hey, I was with him. I was with you. Like, but then after a while, you just kind of watch and you go, "Oh, yeah, it's not supposed to happen."
Yeah. I mean, you look at 4 or 5 starters on the Knicks, you're like, yeah, those guys are starters for a reason. They're really
good. Hey, Atlanta might be one player away. Like, I'm gonna be honest, they're really good. The Magic took the Pistons to 7 games, right?
Yep.
But on top of that, like they had the Pistons down 20 in Game 6, and then lost by 20. So like, I don't know.
Can't do that.
Now Franz Wagner was out, so like I get it. But Desmond Bane was brought there for a reason, not to score 90 points, like
right.
The Raptors taking Cleveland to 7. Like, is this telling me that there's not as big of a, discrepancy between the 1 and the 8 seed? Or is this telling me that the regular season no one tries, and then these 8 seeds, they're like, hey, we can actually play ball. Like, we just lollygag a bunch in the regular season.
Yeah, and there's people that I'm hearing are saying that. They're saying that, hey, like, I don't believe that Detroit is a real team based off of the regular season. I saw them a few games in the regular season, and I was like, wow, Detroit looks totally different now from the rookie season of Cade Cunningham and Jaden Ivey. It's like, wow, like they brought in some guys. They stole the coach from Cleveland, brought him over. Like, I saw some good things. I mean, granted, I don't know all these players on Detroit, but to me, they look like a real team. So to hear that criticism about them come playoff time, to me, was kind of a shocker. But Orlando has been getting much better over the last few seasons. So, and to me, I think Paolo Banchero is one of those real up-and-coming strong players. I've liked him ever since I saw him part of the USA qualifying teams. I think Paolo's a real up-and-coming guy.
No, and then the big one for me, and it's again Milwaukee guy, like Jokic can do no wrong. Like they traded and got Cam Johnson, right?
Yep.
Jamal Murray was starting; he played 40 minutes. Valanciunas, they brought him over to back up Jokic. Tim Hardaway Jr. was brought over. Like they brought Bruce Brown back, and on top of that, they basically got ran out of the gym, right? Jaden McDaniels, he literally told us, hey, how are you guys preparing on defense or on offense? Sorry. He goes, oh, there are a bunch of cones over there. We're just going to run the ball at Jokic. Oh, as a matter of fact, we're going to run the ball to Cam Johnson and Christian Brown and Jamal Murray and Tim Hardaway. He literally named everybody, and that's what they did. They literally just took the ball and was like, you can't stop us. And then on top of that, Jaden McDaniels is not always the go-to scorer. Obviously, they have an Ant. Well, guess what? Closeout game that they won by 12, Jaden McDaniels had 32.
Sure.
So he wasn't lying at all. Like,
right.
But Denver gets beat by a lower seed. Now, yeah, mind you, we did pick Minnesota. Like, but no one's talking about trading Jokic away. But instead, it's, oh, well, Giannis, you can't have any more stuff. They can't put a good team around you. You should get traded. You should ask out.
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Right. And I'll be honest, I think Milwaukee, even though they didn't get there, like, you're actually developing the younger players, which for the last handful of seasons, even while winning a championship, you clearly didn't see. And there was a clear and obvious gap going on that at some point was going to break the dam and you wouldn't be as good. And now you got those guys, and now you can begin developing again. So I do like that. I actually do like the Bucks team now more than actually last season. So I think they are starting to build themselves in the right direction. That's what it takes. I'd rather have that than a Denver team, which looks like, I'll be honest, I am with you. Like, Jokic can produce a lot of results, but he just doesn't look like he's going to be the guy that takes you over the top and wins it for you. He's a solid center, but there's a difference between a Jokic now and like a Tim Duncan in his prime. And even Jokic in his prime, those were years prior. I just don't think that he has that dominance anymore. And especially the fact that he's no longer the biggest guy in that conference alongside the Spurs, Wembanyama, and then you got Chet Holmgren with Oklahoma City, and these are younger teams. Denver is like the Bucks when they won the championship. They had their time to shine, and then these guys are going to fall off the saddle. I'd rather just say, hey, let's start over and make this happen. Plus, I have, from the moment it happened, I do not agree that the current Nuggets head coach is better than Mike Malone. Firing Mike Malone was a terrible idea. Terrible idea. And now he's like the highest paid coach at North Carolina, this hat right here. I'll tell you what, like, it's just like when the Cleveland Browns fired Stefanski. What are you doing? That's a really great head coach. Mike Malone, great head coach. I've seen him commentate here and there. I've always thought that guy is one of the better head coaches in the NBA. Kind of a shocker to see him let go. I'm also shocked to see the Orlando Magic's coach let go. I think that's a bad idea as well.
See, that one, before it gets that one, like the Jokic thing, he is a stat stuffer, right?
Exactly.
Everyone knows that. But the problem is, when Russell Westbrook did it, he got one MVP, and then everyone bashed him for running up his stats. No one ever does that to Jokic. He's literally praised for getting triple doubles. Like, but just go to the box score here. Not one player on their team had more than 4 assists, except Jokic. So what does that tell you?
He's the team.
Yeah, they're literally, and not even just flow, because he's not athletic. He doesn't do anything special. Like, they literally give him the ball, and he just kicks it out because he is big. Don't get me wrong, but like, guys are knocking down shots, and then when they don't, it's over because no one else matters. Like, Jamal Murray had 12. Your number 2 on your team had 12.
A point guard like that should be getting you 30.
Right. At least 25. Because he should have the ball in his hands. He shouldn't be having 4 assist games. It doesn't make any sense.
Right. Yeah. So that, to me, that's kind of a glaring sign that it's like, hey, things in Denver, they're not working that great. I'll be honest, I would kind of look at blowing that team up. I think you got to move off Murray. He does have injury concerns, and to not produce like that matters. I'd even look at what can I get for Jokic. Like he's just not the same guy that he was back then, and this is probably your one chance to maximize that. Yeah, I mean, possibly, man, I don't know what team I can come up with, but and again, too, you got to look at it just like how the Bucks are trying to look at it. You got to look at it if you deal your guy to a team, the team has to be bad. Otherwise, your draft picks in return are not worth it because that team gets good. They become late round, first round picks. They essentially become second round picks. So it is tough to wheel and deal a big time player like that for sure. And if I'm the Bucks at this point, I'd say if I can't get anything real in return, you stick with them.
Yeah, I think we should keep Giannis. I'm not going to lie. There's no point to trading him. When you trade him to a team that the only team that makes sense is Portland because you can get your draft picks back. So if we are bad, we get these picks. If you trade him to New York, well, Portland's good, but they have the Milwaukee Bucks picks.
Oh,
so
gotcha.
If the Bucks are bad, now it's okay. The Bucks don't have their own picks. There's no reason to be bad. There's no reason. If you trade them in New York, they're good. They're literally in the second round right now. Those picks don't mean anything. When's the last time someone picked someone in the bottom tier of the first round and they were a star? Very, very few times, right? If you trade them to Houston, I've heard the Orlando Magic. Like, you trade them to any of those teams, it doesn't matter. They're all playoff teams. What are we doing? They can't give us enough back to make us good, and then we still can't get a draft pick. It doesn't make any sense to me to trade Giannis, but, that's a Bucks fan, and people probably think Homer. No, that is a sports fan first that's looking at it from outside view.
Right. Yeah.
Because if that's the case, then Jokic should be traded too.
Exactly. It's just the nature of how the draft in basketball works. It's a 2-round draft. It's very short.
Right.
However, we are seeing the benefit of now how NIL is benefiting college basketball. So actually, we're going to have more legit first-round talent moving forward. So that's pretty cool. But if you're not in that top half and probably even more, you're kind of rolling the dice. And when you deal a player like Giannis, you can't roll the dice. I mean, look at like Boston, like totally different sport. Looking at the Boston Red Sox, since they've let go of Mookie Betts, they're a disaster. They're a total disaster. I remember hearing Boston in basketball talk about dealing Jaylen Brown. Good thing they didn't, because you need a guy like that. Like Jaylen Brown is great. And not too long ago, he just won you an NBA title. So, you need guys like that just because they're kind of you might not like them as much or whatever their personality is. At some point, you got to realize we need these guys. And if we lose them and we get nothing in return, we are squat.
Right. And now, you're hearing this from me first. And this has been my thoughts since the trade deadline.
Yeah.
You can put together maybe $50 million if you put Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma. Now, I know people are going to say no one wants Kyle Kuzma. Well, a team that's rebuilding, he's an unrestricted free agent next year. So that $20 million falls completely off. Miles Turner, he's easily flippable. He's a 3-and-D big. Hits the three, really good shot blocker. And he's only making $25 million. So you can move him again at the trade deadline and get more expiring contracts. So I think you combine them together, maybe put a sweetener on it. I know people don't want to get rid of Ryan Rollins, but hey, it might happen. I'm a really big Kevin Porter Jr. fan, but maybe you put that together and go get a Ja Morant or a Kyrie Irving, and you put that next to Giannis with Bobby Portis and AJ Green, and then whoever you keep between Porter and Rollins, that might be a championship team.
I'd go for Ja Morant.
Me too. But if Kyrie Irving's the backup plan, hey, totally fine with it. Now you have someone else Because Giannis, and people don't seem to get this, he's not a free agent for 2 years. I mean, this year, coming up 2027, 2026 to 2027, and then he's got a player option in 2027 to 2028.
Yeah.
Like, you technically have him for 2 years. At the end of the day, he can make the most money with the Milwaukee Bucks. Like,
right. Yeah.
And by that point, he's 34 years old. What do you want? You know?
Yeah, I think I think you're onto something, and I think the Ja Morant play is actually more likely in play for the fact that things in Memphis with him just aren't working. I truly think he needs to get out of that city for other things going on, and also like the thing that I heard from in Memphis was that the coach that they had was the one who kind of kept things in check with Morant, like getting him to really focus on basketball, do his thing, and be all right on the court. Well, he's now the current head coach of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yes.
That would be fantastic. I do think he's a good head coach. I did not like seeing the Grizzlies terminate him. He is one of those Mike Budenholzer disciples, so he actually does know the Milwaukee Bucks team already to a degree. So I think he's a good fit, and again, another guy like Ja Morant is solid. I like it.
Look at it this way. So you could get Ja Morant and Ty Jerome together for Miles Turner and Kyle Kuzma, and the contracts work.
Perfect. Yeah.
And like, I know people are, oh, well, Ty Jerome's about to be 30 years old. Like, no one's looking to keep Ty Jerome. If that's the problem that they have, it's like, okay, well, right. Whatever you're doing may not work. Like, you're looking to give more time to Santi Aldama, Zach Edey, Cedric Coward, who you drafted last year, Walter Clayton. You still have Cam Spencer and Scottie Pippen Jr. Like, you have a ton of guards. You don't need Ja Morant, who doesn't want to be there, and you don't want him there, who has this big $40 million contract. And you don't want a 30-year-old two guard who's kind of small in Ty Jerome.
No, I'll be honest. I really, really like the Ja Morant play. I don't know when this can happen, but if we can make this happen sooner than later, that'd be great. When does this free agency open up for the NBA?
That's a good question. I'm not really sure. I'm just thinking about the draft. You can give them that. I think the Bucks are pretty locked into like a number, maybe a 10, a late lottery, somewhere in that, because it's a swap of best between them and New Orleans. So like you can throw that lottery pick as sweetener. Hey, take this expiring deal and take Miles Turner, and we can go find something. Jericho Sims can easily play center. So can Bobby Portis. So can Giannis. Let me type in agency start in the NBA June 30th.
Okay. Interesting.
But this would be a trade. Like, all of these guys are under contract right now. So you can make the move. The money matches. It's pretty simple. And the money matches because Ja only makes $39 million. Okay.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting. Like I think Kyrie Irving's in a nice spot with Dallas, and moving forward, like with Dallas, that's where I think he should be. I'll be honest, if there were even a way that they could even rope in LeBron, I think that would be a good destination for LeBron to leave LA for. I think Dallas is a really special team going into next season. I hated the fact that they fired that GM. Jason Kidd's doing great down there. Like, I really, really like Dallas. If I were Kyrie Irving, that's where I would just plant the flag to end his career, to be honest. I mean, like, at his point, dealing with that Achilles injury, that's not someone I'm really too excited to rope into to the Bucks, to be honest.
Yeah. And I just said it's a backup plan.
Yeah.
Just a backup.
And even looking at Houston with Kevin Durant, you can see things are breaking down now. And he really ripped that Achilles at some point during COVID, I want to say. at some point it catches up to you. At some point, the torn Achilles is just too much. It just is. Like, I mean, granted, these are guys I like, but at some point you got to realize if he's going to a new team, I would not want to be the new team investing in those players. But then again, I got Kirk Cousins on the Raiders, so yeah.
You're kind of like,
that's debate.
It happens.
I know. What's up with that?
So the Kyrie deal is basically the same. You would have to add on either Daniel Gafford or PJ Washington, and it's the same. Miles Turner, Kyle Kuzma, boom. Nice. Drop that pick in there. Again, this is a team that has Derek Lively. They don't need Daniel Gafford playing center minutes. They've got Dwight Powell, who's been a long-time Maverick. He plays backup big. You have PJ Washington over there. You don't need another big. You can get off the Kuzma contract in a year or two when Flag is still on that rookie deal. And then you can move Turner. You can do whatever you want with Turner while Lively is still coming back from his injury. Like, I think it literally falls into place. And if you want to get really crazy, instead of Gafford, you could drop Klay Thompson in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if it makes sense, go for it.
Because the Bucks can always use a wing shooter, right? That plays a little bit of defense. Either way, all it takes is one extra player that, like Gafford or PJ Washington on this team, even maybe a Caleb Martin, someone like that. And the same thing for Memphis. All it took was one extra contract of $8 million. It's easy to do.
Okay. Yeah. Not too bad on the options. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited to see things happen there. I'll be honest, like Kyle Kuzma was actually much better than what people kind of gave him credit for.
Agreed.
I saw the guy play. That guy plays with speed. Like, he plays with pure speed. When you think of a power forward, that's a power forward. Like, that guy goes down the court a mile a minute. I like what I saw out of him. I think now from that season and kind of his last season in Washington, you can start to see like this guy's kind of coming into his own. I think he's a great addition to any team at this point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, hey, I'm ready to wrap up if you are. We're going a little bit over that hour mark.
Yeah, totally. But hey, we got something good here. We're changing things up schedule wise here for a bit. But other than that, I think we got some fun going in the future. We'll see how frequently we do things up until the NFL season. But we'll kick it around and we'll take it from there. So I'm Steve Metrics. That's your boy,
DJ Triggs.
And that's No Debate.